There you go.
Hello and welcome to Story Starters. I am your host, Michael Dawn Brooks, also known as MDB, and my lovely co-host, Sako Tumi. We are here to present some story prompts for you guys. This is going to be like a sprint, only directed. So you can write with us, you can write whatever you want, or you could follow along with the sprints or with the prompts. And we'll be using a random prompt generator for that. So please join us. And oh, hi, Sarah. Thank you for booping the like. Yeah, we hope to see more folks coming in to join us today. So Sako, hi, Nicole, NFT in the house. We are going to be doing our Wheel of Randomness, which you can find at my website, michaeldawnbrooks.com/storystarters. All of the links are down below. All of the links to my books, Sako's books, stories, anthologies, all of those things. If you wish to buy us a copy, those are also down below. Also, I'm very excited because today is the kickoff of Sarah Cannon's Publish and Thrive course. It's a 6-week course for anyone who is looking to publish their book, to get their words out into the world and thrive while doing it. That kicks off today, and I'm really excited about it. There's a link in down below to that. Also to the bundle of the HB90 course, which is a planning course, a quarterly planning course, which I love. Sako, you were telling me that there's another way of doing planning and setting up your publishing career. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
I use the 12-week year to get projects done.
Okay. How does that work?
So there are, how do I put this? There's a 13th week where you review your previous quarter and you set up your next quarter. You come up with a plan for your 12 weeks. You're supposed to do one project. Before, like last year, I was doing 9. And I made progress on all of them. However, none of them got finished.
Oh.
So this quarter, I'm doing my brand. I'm fleshing out my brand, and so it's just the one. I came up with a plan to carry me week by week, and then that 13th week, I don't work on anything. I just kind of surf and review and set up for the next quarter. You focus. So I focus on it when I'm not on the clock, though I'm running out of clients. So I guess I can work on it during the day too. What else do you want to know?
Oh, is there a book or is it?
There is a book. Let me see if I can reach it without taking off my headphones. No, I can't.
Okay.
I think it's over there. Okay, hold on.
Sure. Yeah, so basically these different organizational kind of hacks are a great way for us to, as authors and writers, to organize ourselves. So the 12-week year, it's kind of similar. It sounds like it's similar in principle to what Sarah is doing with HB90, where basically you're breaking things into quarters, 12 weeks at a time. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And we get that 13th week vacation where all we got to do is review and look forward.
What worked?
So,
What didn't?
exactly. And so the concept is that you get more done in 12 weeks than most people get done in 12 months.
Yeah.
Because you're working on it every day as opposed to once a week or once a month, or
Right.
the kinds of people who make resolutions at the beginning of the year and then it kind of peters out the first like 3/4 of the year, and then you get to the end of the year and you're like, oh shit, I haven't done anything regarding my resolutions. Yeah, that doesn't happen in the 12-week year.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's very similar to what HB90 does. So yeah, I mean, anything where you can go. Oh, sorry, my little sister was saying that she couldn't comment. So
Oh, is it?
she's
Yeah.
not in her she's not in her YouTube, but that's why she can't comment. So
Yeah.
Erin, if you are watching this, all you need to do is sign into your YouTube and you'll be able to make comments, and that should be fine. But yes, or if you haven't liked my channel, you might need to like or subscribe to my channel in order to comment. I can't remember how I set that up, so that might be why as well. But hello to everyone joining us today, and we've had a bit of chit chat. So let's go ahead and get started with our very first writing prompt. So the way that this works, we do 3 random prompts with our wheel of randomness. So the prompt tells us what we're going to do, what 3 prompts we're going to do, and then we scroll down to each corresponding wheel to find out what that prompt is. So for instance, if we spin the wheel and it pops up with a genre, we'll go down to the genre wheel, and in the genre wheel, it might spit out sci-fi horror or, high fantasy or something like that. So we will, and then we will write using those concepts, however it feels natural to you. You could be very literal with this, or you could be very, esoteric with this, and just however you want to interpret those prompts, however you want to weave them in, is entirely up to you. You don't even have to go by the prompts. If you want to use this 25 minutes to work on your own work in progress, and maybe weave those prompts into your current work in progress, just to see, like, experiment with a scene. Maybe you've been stuck with a particular scene, and these prompts are a way to kind of unstick you. So do this however you see fit. In the meantime, we will, if I can get it to work, go to our story starters page, which again is at my website, michaeldawnbrooks.com/story-starters. And this is our story prompts. So we're going to spin the wheel. And we are dealing with trope.
Ooh, what kind of trope?
Ooh, let's see. So we're going to spin it for our second, and it's genre. Now this is where it's fun, because sometimes you will have a genre with a trope that does not mesh with that genre, and that's always fun when you're kind of mixing tropes. And setting. Okay. So I'm going to scroll button. All right. Let's get our, genre is right up at the top. Let's just go to genre. Our genre is urban fantasy.
Oh, darn. Twist my arm.
I know, right? Oh, you mean I have to stay in my wheelhouse? What? All right. And going to trope.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of tropes.
I know.
Okay.
It was tough just picking the amount of tropes that I did. Enemies to lovers. Gotta love enemies to lovers. And for urban fantasy, I mean,
I've never written enemies to lovers, so this will be interesting.
All right. And then the last one is setting. I scrolled past it. Settings.
There it is.
Okay.
Hi, Tori.
A hospital room. Okay. Some of these are really random. I mean, I just, you know. All right. So now all we need to do, we're going to pop out of that and I will create. Hey, Tori, welcome aboard. And I'm going to just put a little reminder ticker of what we're doing. So
Okay.
it's trope.
Enemies to lovers. Urban fantasy. Hospital room. Okay, I will figure something out.
Right. And this is the fun part because you go into it going like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this.
Yeah,
And then
I don't know how to do enemies to lovers in a Flash.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe they argue at first and then they have makeup sex. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So that should be showing. Okay. Scrolling. So if anyone forgets, it's on the screen right there, scrolling beneath us. And let's go to our timer. Putting 25 minutes on the clock and go. And that is time. Okay.
I sort of.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey, Rachel. I sort of made it. I could have kept going in the scene.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to stop here. Okay. All right.
Because it's hard to, like, confirm that they disagree with each other and then transition to liking each other. So
Well, I think for these purposes, it's better just to set up the trope than to complete the trope.
I want to complete the trope. God damn it!
I want a full drabble. My flash fiction must
Exactly.
be complete.
Exactly.
All right. Do you want to read what you do you want to read what you've got?
I can.
Okay.
How many words did I do? This is 427 words so far.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so here we go. The sun set, casting a purple light into the hospital room, which made the mint walls look muddy. It was hardly comfortable. The environment did not reflect the care given. Elizabeth laid in the bed, propped up to a sitting position, and dozed on and off. She woke up to the door opening, and the curtain moved aside to show Farina, the jerk that got her in this position in the first place. There had been an accident, and Farina had struck Elizabeth with her car whilst Elizabeth had been walking through the neighborhood. Elizabeth made a disgruntled face and rolled her eyes, and she didn't notice the flowers in Farina's hand, complete with the plastic wrap. Farina entered the room, whose light slowly shifted to dark blue, which made the walls appear teal. She rested the flowers on the side table next to the bed. The flowers had been blessed by a witch, and they emitted a mood that was amorous. It would take a minute to kick in, but Farina was patient. She just had she'd just have to put up with the impending abuse from the injured beautiful woman in the bed. What the hell are you doing here? What haven't you done enough damage? Elizabeth threw off the blanket and motioned to her broken leg that was casted. Her arm was also casted, implying that the leg was not the only injury. I came to wish you good health, Farina replied. Her English was good, but she was fresh from Germany, so her word choices were very German. She had been driving on the wrong side of the road when she made it back to the States, and disaster ensued. She felt terrible that she had harmed this lovely girl. Elizabeth turned her head away from Farina and crossed her arms over her chest out of frustration. A fat lot of good that'll do me. Oh, don't be so grim, Farina said. You're in good hands, and I'm sure you'll heal quickly. She grew impatient. Quote. She grew impatient, expecting the flowers to make Elizabeth a more pleasant person. Do you like the flowers I got you? I special ordered them. Elizabeth raised a brow and side-eyed the flowers. She picked up the fuchsia lilies and gave them a good sniff, just as Verena had hoped. Elizabeth coughed at the puff of pollen that came off the flowers, and she set the flowers down in her lap. She blinked a couple of times, trying to get her wits about her. They're very nice. Thank you. And that's all I got.
What a bitch. Farina. Oh my god. She's like, not only did she break her leg, but now she's drugging her.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I love how you did the mood changing with the colors of the walls. Brilliant. I love that. That's really, oh my gosh. All right. So now I gotta know more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's mine. Georgie leaned over her sister to plant a kiss on her cool forehead. The blast that had knocked Rachel into this damned coma rocked Georgie's world in more ways than one.
Mm.
Fires still smoked in the middle of downtown, and crews worked day and night to clear the rubble and find survivors, or rather, by this point, bodies. Hot tears stung the backs of Georgie's eyes. God damn Brady. She swiped at the tickle of moisture running down her cheek with the hand not holding Rachel's. This was all his fault. If only he'd listened to her, to Rachel, to anyone. But no. His hubris had brought all of this upon their heads. And now, if Rachel died, Brady would be next. Georgie would ensure it. A soft knock broke her turbulent thoughts, and the face she least wanted to see appeared in the crack of the open door. Oh, you're here. Georgie scoffed. Of course I'm here. She nearly knocked the chair over as she launched herself from it toward him. Why are you? Her words a threatening growl. He jerked back at her sudden lunge, but held the door open still. His eyes averted, knuckles white on the doorknob, as a panoply of emotion swept across his face. Shouldn't you be in prison right now after what you did? Guilt settled for a brief moment in his features before smoothing to his typical bitch resting face. I made bail. Of course you did, Georgie spat. Of course Daddy's money came through to cover for your atrocities. I can't believe they'd let a danger like you roam the streets you've decimated. Power crackled across her fists. He eyed her hands and stepped back further, but didn't let go of the door. How is she? His eyes landed softly on Rachel's small, still face. His voice was far gentler than she would have expected, or in fact had ever heard. You don't have the right to ask that question. Georgie closed the gap between them. Her body tingled with power. You don't have the right to look on her face. Who let you in here? Listen, George. For once, his arrogant voice took on an almost pleading tone. I didn't mean... The blast that knocked him back into the opposite wall slammed the air from his body with a satisfying woof. Georgie followed his trajectory into the hallway and stood over him, arms akimbo, rage seething. If I ever see you within 100 yards of her, so help me God, they will be scraping what's left of you from the pavement. Now, leave. Brady gaped at her from the floor, still struggling for breath, eyes wide with shame, guilt, and something new. Respect? Understood, he finally wheezed. He scrambled to his feet and adjusted his trim vest. With a final dusting, he turned on his heel and stalked down the hallway. She watched his egress with pure loathing, but her heart stuttered when he paused before turning the corner to look back at her one final time. Their eyes locked, her breath caught, and then the moment was gone when he disappeared around the nurse's station. Georgie stood for several breaths until her erratic heartbeat slowed. Once she felt calm again, she returned to her bedside vigil, Rachel's tiny hand held between her own. So yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got the enemies down. Got the enemies down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. With like, a hint.
With a hint of what's to come. Yeah.
Yes. So which is how the best enemies to lovers always goes. So yeah, I think I might have to revisit this one.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe develop that a little bit more. So there's prompt 1. Are you ready for prompt 2?
Ready as I'll ever be. I'll have to take a break, like to do the restroom and stuff like that, but sure. That I'll do it during the sprint.
Yeah. And there's actually, 25 minutes is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I had time to go back and do some editing. Okay, where am I going here? Oh, first we got to go to our prompts.
Mm-hmm.
And let's come back up here to, let's see. All right, our first prompt is action. Okay. So this is going to be an action that your characters or someone in your scene has to take. All right. Next is pick a card. I love pick a card. And our final prompt will be... Oh, is it trope or is it theme? It's theme. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
Themes are fun. Okay. So let's go to, I think action is the last one. All right. So these are this is something that someone has to do in your scene. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, but
Okay.
okay. And then pick a card, which is right here.
Oh my God.
The Fool. Hey, if anyone needs to leave, it's the Fool. All right. And our theme. LGBTQ plus.
Oh darn! Don't make me write
I
something
know.
gay.
You'll never think of anything. And suddenly your characters will all be straight. Straight cis all the way. All right. And let us stop that.
And maybe I'll do a continuation of the previous post.
Right? Hey, you could totally do that. All right. Are we ready? And go. Yay! All right. That was fun. Did you continue the scene?
Yeah.
So did I! All right. Okay. All right. I can't wait to hear what you did.
Okay. Here we go. Verena had taken a risk, and it was sort of working. The witch had warned her that she was about to walk off the proverbial cliff, and only had until nightfall to get what she wanted. Verena blew off the warning just a little longer, hoping to see the fruits of her labor through the beautiful and injured Elizabeth, who lay in the hospital bed. Elizabeth gripped the base of the flowers that she held in her lap, the flowers that Verena had given her. Maybe I've been especially harsh. Thank you for coming, honestly. Verena offered a rather charming smile that made Elizabeth blush. Blush. Bleh. She came closer to Elizabeth, standing next to the bed within touching distance. I'm happy to have done so. Elizabeth reached for Verena's hand and took it into the gentle grasp. It was Verena's turn to blush. I should be going so that you can rest. The visiting hours are almost over. Serves me right for coming so late. Nightfall left the lamps to set the mood, the fluorescent lighting casting on the mint walls. Besides, the lights are making my head hurt. She gave Elizabeth's hand a soft squeeze and pulled away. But let's go for coffee when you're better, okay? Elizabeth offered a soft smile and said, that'd be nice. With that, Verena tried not to let her building panic show as she gave an unintentionally nervous smile in return, backing into the curtain. She got tangled for a second, making Elizabeth laugh, but Verena shed the fabric quickly and went for the nearby door. She turned the corner in the hallway and tried to catch her breath. She had to get back to the witch to make sure she wasn't cursed for the attempt to do mind magics on an innocent. She broke out into a run through the hallway and garnered the notice of the security officer as she ran as fast as she could through the lobby and out the automatic front doors.
Ooh, ooh, what is Verena doing? Why is she doing it? What's gonna happen to Elizabeth? So many questions. Oh my gosh. And who's this witch that's like helping her? Like, oh, okay.
Could be a good story.
It could be a really good story. I like this. I like this start. This is a good story start. Okay. So, like you, I continued my scene, but like from the other perspective.
Ooh.
Brady slammed the door to his apartment and paced the floor, hands on hips. He knew he'd never be able to explain what had really happened to Georgie. She was too stubborn, arrogant, and pig-headed to understand the intricacies of his life. Ooh, they let you out. Paul's silky voice broke through his thoughts and stopped him in his tracks. His long, lean form draped over the chaise. The newspaper he'd ostensibly been reading drooped at the corner to peer at Brady with broody, dark eyes. A headline declaring Brady's guilt blazed across the paper with a picture of the downtown crater. He winced. What are you doing here? I live here, darling. Or have you forgotten? One thick eyebrow crooked with irony. That's not what I meant, Brady said, irritated. I thought you were in Marseille. A smirk tipped Paul's mouth. They let me out, too. Brady rolled his eyes, not about to be baited into questioning Paul's meaning. The paper rustled as Paul shook it back out, hiding his face behind the galling picture. You've been busy, love. His bored voice pricked Brady's conscience. I'm not your love, Brady growled. Not anymore, Paul sing-songed. He dropped the paper again and pinned Brady with a hard look. You've got to get your shit together, darling. Dear old Papa is not going to keep cleaning up your messes, and Georgie will kill you. He waved a dismissive hand. The little girl is barely hanging on, and you've not done one damn thing to fix your life or what you've done. Brady rubbed at his suddenly tight chest, feeling the need to gasp for air like he had back in the hospital when Georgie nearly knocked him into next week. Paul's critical gaze flitted over his body before shaking the paper out again and returning to it. I'm just saying, you need to get your priorities straight if you're going to survive till next Tuesday. Claustrophobia clawed at Brady's body. The apartment was suddenly too small, too confined, too people-y. He couldn't stand here one more minute with Paul's judgment. He snatched his jacket from the back of the chair where he'd just thrown it and slammed back out the door. Brady didn't stop running until he reached the park 3 blocks away, where he finally caught his breath, hands on his knees, dragging in deep, labored breaths. The faint scent of acrid burning hit his nostrils, despite being clear across town from the carnage. He promptly threw up.
Ooh. One, thank you for continuing the scene as opposed to just rewriting the old scene in the new perspective. And the leaving part where he ejected his stomach was artfully done.
Thank you. I really want to know what's going to happen with Georgie and Brady now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Paul might be a really fun character. Yeah, so I'm kind of, I might have to explore this a little bit further and see where this goes. So yeah. Yes. Well, good job today. Do we want to do one more, or do we want to leave it at this?
I think we want to leave it at this because I have a thing coming up soon that I need to prepare for.
Absolutely. And well, I had a lot of fun. I hope everyone who visited us today had a lot of fun. And if you followed along and wrote your own scene, I would love to hear what you wrote. So please feel free to, you can, how do we want to do this, Sako? Do we want to have people like email us or,
Sure.
Yeah, okay. You can email me at michaeldawn@michaeldawnbrooks.com if you want to share what you wrote today so that we can kind of or you can join my Facebook group on Facebook.
Which is a rad place to be anyway.
It is. Yes. You can find, if you look up Michael Dawn Brooks, I have MDB's Happy Fun Time Place. I think it's Fun Time Happy Place. I don't know why I created such a long name for my group, but it is a Fun Time Happy Place. So you can always share it there as well. So please join us in the group, talk about what you did today in Story Starters, and we look forward to more of these. We're going with Saturday mornings now because that seems to be easier for everybody. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you more and more. All right, y'all have a great Saturday, and don't forget, today starts Publish and Thrive. So if you want to join in, there's a link in the doobly-doo, and of course, like all of the things, like Sako's channel, and buy our books. And if you want to buy us a coffee, you could do that. All the things, they're all down there. And let's start some more stories. I love it. Thank you. Bye, friend.